Bowl game when he had 3 field goals. Dante Whitner, Rod Brooks, Carlos Ramirez. The offense was disappointing today, Dante.
Absolutely. They couldn't get anything done. They protected Brock pretty well for most of the day, but he was just off. And he had many drop passes, many deep tries on first and second down that he didn't connect, and then the critical turnover when he was trying to force the ball downfield to Juwan Jennings. Just a very incomplete game, a microcosm of the entire season for the 49ers.
At least on offense, because on defense, Rod, the story was completely different. You see the difference with Bosa, Greenlaw, and Hufanga on the field.
Oh, man, how about an appreciation for Fred Warner, the job he was able to do today, leading the team in tackles. The difference when Dre Greenlaw was on the field meant that Kyron Williams didn't go off. When Dre Greenlaw was off the field in the second half, Kyron Williams, when that Rams offense was able to get going. Nick Bosa with 3 quarterback hits, and Talanoa Hufanga's second straight game coming back off of that injury where he was a difference maker. Those guys did a hell of a job today. They just got no support from their offense.
All right, and we will talk about Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy, the offense, and much more. Players came back today for the 49ers on the field, but a very special player came back for us on the sidelines. We go out to Levi Stadium with our 49ers extraordinaire, Matt Mayoko. Before we get started, Matt, we miss you a lot on Sunday. We're so happy to see you back and strong with us. Give us your take on the offensive performance. We just said the numbers. 91 consecutive games scoring at least an offensive touchdown. That's out the window. What did you see?
I saw a team that just couldn't function on offense. And, it's interesting because, the Rams weren't exactly an offensive juggernaut either in this game, where the 49ers, they just, I look at Deebo Samuel. This was a guy that during the week said, I'm not struggling. I'm just not getting my opportunities. Well, guess what? He had a lot of opportunities on Thursday night, including the big one on the 3rd and 10. If he catches that pass, which Brock Purdy delivered right where he needed to put it, Deebo Samuel definitely picks up the first down. He might be celebrating a touchdown if he can get into the end zone, which it looked like he had a chance to get. And what did he do? He dropped it. So this is kind of the story of the 2024 49ers. The ball was in their hands and they dropped it. And, for defense, yes, the defense played outstanding. But I also look back at the first 2 series of the game where Diamador Lenore had a chance for an interception. Talanoa Hufanga had a chance for an interception. So the defense played very well. They couldn't generate the takeaways. The offense simply did not play well at all. So, hey, this is what you get with this team. We saw them from week 3 on blow leads, fail to pick up opportunities when they had a chance to win division games. This was a team that went 11-1 in the previous 2 seasons in the division. Right now, they just have the 1 win, 4 losses, and I think we can bury this team at this point.
If we could circle back to Deebo Samuel and how he was used today. He had the same number of targets, 7, Deebo did, as Juwan Jennings, but Deebo only had 3 receptions. Do you think Kyle Shanahan made a concerted effort in the first half to get Deebo the ball, to try to get him going for whatever reason?
It felt that way, yeah. And what we've seen this year from Deebo Samuel is, it's obvious he hasn't been the same Deebo as years past, where it seemed like in the past no one ever, the first guy never brought him down. This year, he hasn't broken tackles. He hasn't made the big plays. He hasn't run with that aggression and that fire and that kind of passion that really kind of permeated over to the defensive side and created a tone for this team, kind of that aggressive tone. So, I don't know what's going on. Is he struggling? Obviously he is. He's not picking up the yards in the running game. Again, another game where he just simply didn't have anything going on the ground. And then even the yards after the catch, they weren't there. It's been a really bad season for him, and in particular these last 5 weeks where he's been held right around 20 yards receiving each of the last 5 games now. He's right at 100 yards over those 5 games, and that's not what the 49ers needed. This is a guy who has been a mainstay on this team. He's almost kind of epitomized what this era of 49ers football is all about, and he has fallen off in a big, big way.
Matt, there was a distinct difference when Dre Greenlaw was on the field versus when he wasn't on the field. Do we know why he didn't finish the game and he wasn't available for that long drive and towards the end of the game?
What I was told late in the game was that there was no injury associated with Dre Greenlaw. So, oftentimes when a guy leaves the lineup, if it's for an injury, they have to announce it. That's a league rule. And so there was no injury with Dre Greenlaw, but you saw, like I did, he was on the sideline rubbing the leg, had a brace on the knee at one point. But what it very well might be was that they figured that they wanted to get him in the action. They wanted to play him in the first half, and he played 28 of the 30 snaps in the first half. They might have felt with the break at halftime, maybe they just shut him down. Now, he did get out there for the second series. He was out there for a play or two, and then he came off the field. I think it looked to me like something was bothering him, but maybe we'll get some answers here in a little bit when Kyle Shanahan addresses the media.
Matt, we saw Brock Purdy underthrow George Kittle at one time, also Ricky Pearsall down the stretch. Then he overthrows Juwan Jennings for the pick. What kind of game did you see from Brock tonight?
Oh, it wasn't good. Yeah, no, there's no sugarcoating that. Brock Purdy did not step up. No one really on the team. I mean, the defense played very well, as we've documented. I mean, the 49ers defense held the Rams out of the end zone. They held them down there in some situations where the Rams could have taken a commanding lead. They gave the offense every opportunity to win this game, and the offense simply couldn't do it, whether it was in the running game or the passing game. Now, everybody seemed off in this, including Brock Purdy, and we've seen him struggle a little bit when there's been elements involved, whether it's the rain or the snow a couple weeks ago in Buffalo. And so this is one of those games where the offense just didn't look right. It was raining throughout the first half. Both teams were playing in it. Both teams' offenses struggled in it. But yes, Brock Purdy simply did not have a good game either.
All right, Matt, good to see you back with us, friend. And we'll see you again next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday, when the 49ers go at it again. That's the great Matt Mayoko live from Levi's Stadium. Back here in studio with Dante and Rod. Let's revisit that final drive for the 49ers that ends up with pretty much a game-ending interception by the Rams. The only thing you can't do, Dante, if you're Brock Purdy in a 9-6 game moving the ball downfield is, and he literally and figuratively dropped the football for the 49ers. This game could have been over earlier in favor of the Niners. Rod, let me begin with you. Debo talked the talk. He didn't walk the walk tonight. 19 yards.
He didn't. He brought it on himself. But again, talk about compounding problems, okay? He brought the attention on himself after a win. After one of the best wins of the season, he brings the attention on himself that he's not getting enough touches, which is factually not true. Then he gets touches, and then he gets drops. I go back to the beginning of the game. First play of the game, first down, he drops the ball. Okay, 1 yard gain, first down on third series. A penalty on first down for the Niners in the fifth series. So he's getting the Niners off on the bad foot. We talked about it in pregame, where if the Niners were going to win this game, one of the things they had to do was win on first down. I just gave you 3 instances where Deebo Samuel did not help them win on first down. But what I don't understand, and I kind of referenced this to the question with Matt, Deebo Samuel's not the same dude, okay? We know that, and he knows that. Why are you forced?
Does he know that?
Yeah, he knows that, which is part of his frustration. All right, I'm psychoanalyzing here, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, which is part of his frustration. Why are you force-feeding a guy the ball when he's not as good as he used to be, and you have George Kittle and Juwan Jennings there? Why does he have the same amount of touches as George Kittle?
Well, I think that we figured that Kyle Shanahan would make a concerted effort to get Deebo to Samuel more often involved in the offense today, and he did that. He force-feeded him the ball. So I think we have to put a lot of blame on Kyle Shanahan.
Okay,
if you see that Deebo Samuel is not mentally in tune into the game, he's dropping the football, he's not beating man coverage, put somebody else in position to be the #1 read and make somebody else the priority. So some of that does go on Deebo Samuel for bringing the attention to himself, but Kyle Shanahan should have noticed it earlier and went away from Deebo Samuel.
I understand all that.
Do his job.
I understand all that.
He was given that opportunity.
When you're wide open, when you spent the entire week talking about giving more touches, it's a close game at home that you must have. You can't be more open than what he was. He was schemed open. You got Ricky Pearsall blocking down the field. You're wide open for a touchdown. You can't drop the football. You can't.
Well, let's give him some grace. Nobody feels as bad as Deebo.
We understand
that, but that's
he
fine.
knows
but
he's supposed to catch that football. Let's give him a little grace, but Yeah, he has to catch it.
It's hard to give him grace when he says, I'm not getting enough touches, and he's clearly getting touches. And then he gets touches, and he doesn't do anything.
And the same goes for Purdy. He can't throw that pick in the fourth quarter. He can't.
And Kyle Shanahan, as the coach, as the guy who oversees this, has to look at the situation and go, I can't give somebody who acted in a petulant manner what he wants.
Right.
And then when he doesn't deliver after you give him what he wants, you keep giving it to him.
Right.
We talk about compounding mistakes.
Right.
Purdy cannot throw in a double coverage, and he cannot miss the guy underneath. You cannot give the guy a football who's not as good as he used to be, okay, over and over and over again. And then when you do give it to him, he doesn't get the job done. Two things can be equally true.
To me, it's real easy. He's got the same touches as last season. He's asking for more touches, and when he asks for them, he's not deserving them. He hasn't earned more play time.
He's not the same guy.
He's not the same player. All right, quick break here on 49ers.